So today we're going to be solving some exponential equations, and I start off with some problems that you can maybe think about what the answer is, and then we're going to start to use a new strategy to actually solve these if we can't think about what the answer is. So we're trying to solve an exponential equation and find what the exponent is to figure out 3 to the what power is equal to 9. Most people know that 3 to the power of 2 would give us that 9, so that our x would be equal to a 2. We didn't really do any math there, and again I'm going to get to that in a second, but you might be able to start to think about that. Take a look at how many 3's it might take to get to 27. So 3 times 3 got us to 9. If we added in a third one, 3 to the third power would give us 27. So our x would be 3 there. Again, we can kind of check that on the calculator if we need to. 3 to the power of 3 gives us 27. If we went 3 to the power of 4, that gives us 81. The next one is x to the 4. 3 to the power of 5, however, does not get us to 100. So we know that x is 2 there, x is 3, x is 4. But an x of 5 is too much for trying to get to 100. I'm going to try to go in the middle and see if I can brainstorm or trial and error or guess and check some answers, like maybe 4.5. So 3 to the power of 4.5, that's more than 100. 3 to the power of 4.3, still more than 100. 3 to the power of 4.2, okay, that gets me pretty close, but still not exactly there. So I want to know if there's something else that could help me get exactly there. So in order to solve an exponential equation, you can use the log. Now there's a nice button on the calculator which is called log base, and it's going to look like this when we go to solve it. So on the calculator, in the math menu, all the way at the bottom I press up to get to the log base. We'll see that it looks like some blank spots, kind of how it's set up here. So what's at the bottom of the log, or the base of the log, is always what's at the bottom of the exponent or the base of the exponent. So this is a 3 at the bottom of the exponent, so 3 is going to go at the bottom of the log. I'm going to type a 3 in there and then kick over to the right to the other spot. So we have log with base 3. Now I think the most important sentence you can remember from this whole chapter is that logs help us solve for exponents. Logarithms help us solve for exponents. Well, that helps me out because I'm trying to solve for the exponent, so I know that the x has to go over here, which means the only thing left in the problem was 100. Now there are different ways to do this. There's like a loop, swoop, swirl method. I like this because it tells you that you understand the concept that logs will help you solve for the exponent, because we're trying to find what the exponent is. When I go back to the calculator, log base 3 of 100 is how I say this problem. We'll see that we get right near that 4.2 that I was randomly guessing a little bit ago at 4.19. So I'm going to go ahead and use a log to help me solve for an exponent. So in this last case, x would be equal to 4.19. Now, exponential equations can be a little bit more difficult. I'm still trying to solve for an exponent, but I can see there's some extra stuff in the problem that I'd like to get rid of first, and then I can focus on the exponent. So since this says times 150 to start off, I'm going to divide 150 to start off so that it cancels that out. Now I have an exponential problem that looked like the last one. 300 divided by 150 is just 2. And again, I don't want to trial and error and guess on this, so I'm going to go ahead and use the log base, which will help me solve for this problem. So I'm going to head to the math menu, go up to log base. Remember, the base is what's at the bottom of the exponent. At the bottom of the exponent is 1.08. In here, I do not want to put the x, because logs are going to solve for the x, or solve for the exponent. I need to put the 2 in this problem. So this is what will help me get my answer. I'm going to go ahead and write this here first, and then we'll see what the calculator says. Log. And again, I'm going to set up these spots every time. Log, what's at the base or the bottom? That is 1.08. Is at the base or the bottom. Logs will help us solve for exponents. So x is going to be the exponent over here. And that means the only thing left is the 2, and that would make sense. I'm going to plug numbers into the calculator, so it gives me my answer, my exponent. 9.006. So what can I do to double check that answer? Go back to the original in red here. 150 times 1.08 to the power of 9.006. And see if I get about 300, 299.99. Yeah, we've rounded our answer, but we're right there. So it took me a few extra seconds to check my answer. So I figured I'd do one more, and we'll finish up. Again, I want to solve for an exponent here. Notice there's a couple things in the exponent, but the main thing is I need to get rid of that 1/2 to start off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide by 1/2 and divide by 1/2. So it cancels out and I can get this exponent problem. I realize this isn't multiply by 1/2, but if I need to divide by 1/2 on the calculator, I probably want to use parentheses or maybe 0.5. I'm going to divide with parentheses. 8192. And now I need to solve for an exponent, so I'm going to go ahead and use that log. So I'll go ahead and type it over here. Log, what's at the base or the bottom? That is 2. Log of 8192. And logs will help me solve for the exponent, which in this case is 3x. So I'm going to go ahead and type in math menu up to the log base. The base is 2. 8,192 is the other part. So 13 is what I get on the left side. So 13 is on the left, equal to 3x. Notice I haven't solved for x yet. I've solved for the exponent, which was 3x. I'll do one last algebra step, divide by 3, and I get my answer as x equals 13 thirds, or 13 over 3.